And it might be published, it might not, but if not, it'll be my memoirs.
There you
Because somebody's gonna want to know something about this thing. And this is an imitation from the Armadillo Rising that was yesterday. And the proposed name of my book is going to be The Stories We Could Tell. And that was a Jimmy Buffett song on A1A, and I can't remember right now who wrote it, but tip of my tongue. Anyway, so I have started writing. What I did was I wrote, I am writing short stories, but for an introduction, I have to have a little background. So the story we could tell, and I've divided it into the beer, the song, the adventures, and events. So it'll be about Lone Star, about the song, about Willie, about all the musicians and everything. And the adventures was the events that happened, was the things that happened, different things that happened. The events would be 4th of July picnics, Texas World Music Festival, blah, 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 things like that.
Right.
Okay? And so that's what I'm writing on, and I'm handwriting and putting on a computer. And what it's going to lead to is okay, let's see. This is my research that I keep on music and songs. And this is, I start with Townes Van Zandt, and then I've got excerpts from every magazine imaginable in here, all on music and the whole basic for music, the delivery of music, the people involved, the way the musicians see the music, why the music nowadays doesn't last like it used to, because it doesn't have that emotion, that feeling that
Doesn't have the
people
connection
are
with
looking
people.
for. It doesn't have that connection to move. And the real challenge is creativity, and it's written even here by my Catholic priest friend in the Catholic magazine, and then it's really written up good in Townes Van Zandt. And it's written up here in Esquire, again, really good. And Bob Dylan and his music, when he sent the talk on the music LA Times article to the Music Foundation in LA here, he goes through the same thing exactly here. He said, you never sing, he has the same things that the same thing I said about singing the songs to the people instead of the musicians. So I've got all this and just some more things on Bob, but this is just all research on music and songs.
And the art of writing songs.
And the art of delivery of songs and writing songs. This is Willie that was in Rolling Stone magazine, and that's just a little girl in school, just in a music class. I had a picture of. And anyway, so Willie signed my Rolling Stone cover to Jerry, No Bad Days, Willie Nelson. So I just made a little scrapbook out of that and wrote some. These are the short stories I'm writing, and there's 17 of them that I've already got, and then comments on the books. And they cover the whole ball of wax, because like this is Close Call. The first time I went with Willie to the CMA, and he was invited to play with his whole band. And the story behind how at the back gate they almost didn't let him in, and we almost changed history forever. And then the next story I write is about the Troubadour in Los Angeles, the first time we played there. And we stayed in a rundown motel across the street, and we teased Willie because his suite was $17 and our room was $13. And Sally said, my wife said, well, why did he hang around in our room all the time? I said, well, I don't know. Anyway,
the other way around.
yeah, the other one, another one is Dry County, and this was about ZZ Top's first annual barbecue in '78 at the University of Texas. Billy Gibbons, a good friend of mine, and he was in Cream magazine the year before, and they flew him some Coors in, and he told him he drank Lone Star, he didn't drink Coors. So I went to the Memorial Stadium in Dallas, and Memorial Auditorium, and I knew all the people with Billy and them, but Bill Ham was tough because being a record salesman before he was a music man. So I got by their security and had 3 long necks, a Lone Star, and I went and stood on the bathroom stool in the bathroom in the dressing room. And because of my big feet, everybody can recognize me, so I had to stand on the stool, but I didn't want him to know anybody was in there. So I sat there, and that was during the Tejas tour when they had the cows and the animals and the steers. And I stood there the whole goddamn concert listening, but I couldn't do anything. So when they came back in the dressing room, I jumped out of the stall and I said, "Oh, Billy, hi, Frank, Dusty." I said, "Oh, Billy, thanks for the mention in Cream magazine. Here's y'all a cold Lone Star." And I handed them beer. By that time, they had
wasn't so cold.
Hands and feet. No, it was cold. I had me a cooler with ice and bags, and they grabbed me by my hands and my feet and all fours and threw me out the door on my back.
Oh.
So the security did.
Oh,
That was the way it was then. And this was Hideaway, the story about Fandango magazine.
That was
the one here.
Album.
Yeah, the Hideaway. Yeah, that was the other one.
Behind.
Dry County was the story about the stadium. When you went with, no, I don't know if you went with that. That was the backstage. Anyway, this was at the stadium in Dallas, and this was at the other one. And then there was another one here at the Texas World Music Festival. And here's the first time Willie played at the Golden Nugget in Las Vegas. And first time studio in the country in Bogalusa, which is still my favorite tape ever from Willie's, that they took to Nashville and changed it. Mm-hmm. And this is Willie's Western Town Luck, when we did an interview, and when I took Bob Dylan shopping and Bobby Newworth and T-Bone Burnett. And this is San Francisco. When we went there the first time, stayed the Holiday Inn on Van Ness, and they gave me the limo, and I took it to the Golden Gate Park because I like to watch the kids sail boats. And the driver thought I was a freak because I didn't want to go to the sex show. So I told him I didn't want to go to the Golden Gate Park. Anyway, blah blah blah. And then here's a story about Manny Gammons and that. And these are my short stories that are going to be coming out.
Awesome.
Hopefully, if they get printed. Okay, this was sent to me